Take 2.
Okay, so spheres and hemispheres.
Yes.
Basketball, soccer ball. Okay, anything that's a it's circular, 3-dimensional circle. Okay, we have a formula. It's a new formula. It's one that you need to memorize. Volume of spheres is 4/3 pi r cubed. 4/3 pi r cubed. Do you have a question?
So when you're typing it in your calculator, you put 4 divided by 30.
Correct. And I'm going to do it with you, the first couple. Okay, so 4/3 pi r cubed. Before I even solve number 1, what information do you have to know to find the volume of a sphere? The radius. So looking at number 1, what is my radius? 4. Okay, that is the radius here. So 4/3 pi times 4 cubed. Do we know how to plug that into our calculator? Yeah, you know how to do 4 to the 3rd power? Okay. 4 times 4 times 4, yes, but let me show you how to use the buttons on your calculator as well.
Plug this in real quick.
Okay. So 4,
4.
and then you're looking for this like upwards arrow type thing called a caret.
No carrot.
You're right, you shouldn't be on your phone. You should be using a real calculator.
Oh, I don't think I have that.
So 4 to the 3rd power equals, and then I need to multiply that by 4/3. You have 2 options. You multiply by 4 divided by 3 and you put it in parentheses, or you do 64 times 4 divided by 3. Okay? Either way, you get 85.3. So as long as you got 85.3, don't forget your pi, and it's inches cubed. If I want that rounded to the nearest tenth, multiply it by pi.
268.164. Just like that.
Okay, so 268.1. Now, if you got something slightly different, let me tell you why you got something slightly different. If you round too much and you delete it from your calculator, your tenths value is going to be off. So if you notice mine, so watch what I do again. I did 4 to the 3rd. I pressed equals and I left it. And then I multiplied by 4/3 and I left it. And then I multiplied by pi. So while I'm changing and rounding on my paper, I'm leaving the full decimal on my calculator. So I'm getting an exact answer every time. The more you round, the less exact your answer is going to be. Okay? But as long as you can show me those steps, if you're slightly off because of rounding, I'll probably still give it to you. But definitely use your pi button and try to keep the answer not rounded if possible until the very end. Okay? So let's look at number 2. Number 2, what am I given? The diameter. So what's my radius? 9.2. So volume equals 4/3 pi times 9.2 cubed. So in your calculator, 9.2 to the 3rd power. Okay, times 4/3 is 1,038.3 pi meters cubed, and then rounded to the nearest tenth gives you 3,261.8 meters cubed. So again, it's all formula based. If you know the formula and you know how to use your calculator, you should be okay. If you don't know one of the two, you're probably not going to get that right. But you need to know the formula and you need to know how to use your calculator. So I would like you to solve numbers 3 and 4 with your group. Okay, so for number 3, you should have volume equals 4/3 pi times the radius cubed, which is 6. 6 to the 3rd power times 4/3 is 288 pi inches cubed. And then rounded to the nearest tenth, you get 904.8 inches cubed. Did we get that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Number 4, volume equals 4/3. What's my radius? 9.6, because you divided 19.2 in half.
Yes.
Okay, so 9.6 to the 3rd power times 4/3 is 1,179.6 pi centimeters cubed. And then when I multiply through by pi, I get 3,706. I think it was a 0.9, and then it was rounded up.
0.1.
No.
0.09.
Okay, so watch. 9.6 to the 3rd times 4/3 times pi. So 3,705.97. That 7 rounds the 9 up to a 0, which rounds the 5 up to a 6. Okay, centimeters cubed. So that's volume of a sphere. What is a hemisphere? Half of a sphere. Okay, so if I want to find the volume of a hemisphere,
Divide by 2?
I'm just going to take my answer and divide it by 2. Okay?
And
So, for number 1, let's just find the volume of a hemisphere in terms of pi. So if I just want the hemisphere in terms of pi, I'm going to take the 85.3 and divide it by 2. And you get 42.7 pi inches cubed. Okay, so if I just want it in terms of pi, I would take my pi answer and divide it by 2. What if for number 2, I want it rounded to the nearest tenth? Which one would I use? The bottom one, right? The one that already has pi multiplied out. So 3261.8 divided by 2 would give you 1,630.9 meters cubed. Correct. So to find a hemisphere, you're going to find the volume of a sphere and then divide that answer by 2. So I would, it depends on what the question's asking for. Okay, so what I would like you to do for number 3, I want you to find the volume of a hemisphere in terms of pi. And for number 4, I want you to find the volume of the hemisphere rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so in terms of pi, rounded to the nearest tenth. It should take you 30 seconds. So for number 3, the volume in terms of pi for the hemisphere should be 144 pi inches cubed. Did you get that? Okay. And then for the hemisphere on number 4, rounded to the nearest tenth, you actually would get 1,853 centimeters cubed.